Sorry about that. Hold on a second. Sorry, y'all. Just checking everything's working. Okay, hopefully the mic is working in my tablet. I have it open in front of me. I think the audio was just acting up earlier, so it should be working now. Currently checking it out. Oh, no wonder. I don't understand what's happening. Fun. Okay, we're just gonna go get started right now because... Yeah, we're gonna get started right now. 1 second. Okay. Hopefully all is well right now. My goodness, this always happens. Alright. Good morning. And the lights are kind of low. There we go. It's a little too bright for me. Alright. All is well. Alright, so it seems like it's working. I'm hearing myself echo a little bit on YouTube. But good news is that it looks like it's working well. Alright. So, good morning everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into opening this because I genuinely suck at just setting everything up. And I just start talking and then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to do this. Alright, so welcome to session 20. I made it. I'm alive. Alright, so for today's stream itinerary, we have greetings, conversation practice, and question, comments, concern, or suggestions. First, let's just go straight into our greetings panel. Good morning. I have some good news to share and also some bad news to share. Good morning to Vision de Inacio, who joined me on Instagram for just like a brief minute, but that's okay. So things I wanted to share are this morning, this evening, last night, not this evening. Last night, I received news from my best friend that she confirmed our flight, so I will be flying out to Japan at the end of March for 1 week. So the reason why I'm going there is because I'm my best friend's +1 to her friend's wedding. So this is going to be a great experience because it's my first time going to a wedding that's abroad, I believe. I'm trying to remember a time where I went to a wedding that was abroad. I think most of them are majority. Oh wait, no, there's one that I did go abroad for. And that was way back when I was in high school. And I think that was in Canada when my aunt got married. This is like a first kind of like friend through a friend that I'm going to a wedding for. So this is gonna be great. A wedding in Japan. This is gonna be my first Japanese wedding. I'm very, very excited. My best friend and I are gonna be having a wonderful time in Japan and just basically having a girls' night out or girls' week out, adventures, whatever. And what's so awesome about this is that I actually wrote in my journal that the things I want to manifest in 2024 is to travel abroad. And the two places I selected were Tokyo and Paris. And one of them just came true as of yesterday, and I was freaking out over that because I was thinking, wow, this is amazing. Like, a sermon was the one who told me, or sorry, let me rephrase that. I was watching a video on Instagram where there was a sermon that instructed that if you want to write about your goals, you should write it in the present tense. That way, it feels more realistic and that you're going to be pursuing them more actively. Whereas if you use the future tense, like I will, there's always that feeling of that it won't happen. Because the future is not stable, right? The future can always change. So I think there was more power in my words or in the words of just using present simple tense. So avoid saying stuff like I am going to, because even though it's present continuous in the laws of grammar, I am going to is perceived as future tense. So if you are to write a goal and manifest it in the present tense, they specifically said present simple. So I read 5 stories a day, for example. I wrote in my journal, I said, I travel to Japan and Paris. So I was really looking forward to having both of them come true. I was really thinking that maybe Paris might happen this year, but Japan just happened instead. I still plan to go to Paris with my other best friends, so I wanted to do like solo trips with individual besties, and then eventually there will be like a group travel with friends. This is mainly because I want to have like one-on-one time with my best friends, And that's just like a personal thing for me. I don't know if my friends are happy with that. I'm sure most of them don't mind if it's just the two of us, you know? So I just wanted like a girls' event because this was something we've been thinking of for a very long time, and I really want to spend time with them to my heart's content, you know? Spend time with them and have fun in the city, learn the language. And that being said, I am planning to learn Japanese starting today. I will be having some Japanese podcasts playing, so hopefully there will be something playing on Audible for me to just study Japanese, maybe just like chapter 1 and then just listen and repeat. I just want to focus on just practicing and applying what I've learned. I don't think Babbel has Japanese offered there. Duolingo, you'd have to like use your application first before you can access anything with audio, I think. It's just a mixture of different like language skills that you're practicing if you use Duolingo. I also saw a video on YouTube about someone trying to review like Duolingo as a way to learn Japanese, and I have yet to watch that video, and I'll share my thoughts on it too. So we're coming from a linguistic perspective of this and how if it's beneficial. And most importantly is that when you are looking at things that are like, you know, linguistics or language acquiring applications, you have to think about whether or not it applies to you first and foremost, and then see if anyone else feels the same way. Personally, everyone's experience is different because everyone's learning skills are different, so it just at the end of the day works for whoever it applies for. With that being said, I think other news to share is that I will not be having a grammar stream tonight. This is because I have a family emergency that's happening this evening, so I have to cancel my grammar lessons tonight. And I've already posted about that on Discord, so I already announced it in the chat saying, hey, I won't be streaming tonight because I don't think I will make it. And I'd rather not have the pressure of rushing home to get started on that lesson as well when I have to prioritize this personal matter first, because the event is going to take place tomorrow. So for the time being, I'm not going to share or disclose what it's about until the event is over, and then I will mention it briefly, maybe next week, but I just want this to be settled first. All right. So that's enough for today's greetings and updates. I don't think a lot of people are online today, and that's a-okay for me because, you know, life happens. The time zone I decided to teach at, like at 5 a.m. for me, is more aimed at like students who are living in, I think I was aiming for Asia, and my Southeastern Asian students are probably getting ready to sleep at this time or having dinner or spending time with family. I don't know, but when I looked at the schedule, it looked like it's between the 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. bracket. So that's the range of this time zone. So hopefully when my students wake up or when they have time to, they can watch this video as a reel on Instagram or on YouTube if you guys want to follow me there. But that's the beauty of streaming when you have the opportunity to record it and post it. So super thankful that I have Streamlabs, which is the application I'm using to stream this both on YouTube and Instagram. So this has been great for me. All right, with that being said, we are going to transition to our conversation practice now. We are going to be talking about rituals or routines in today's stream. So the first question is, do you have a ritual or routine? And I'm so sorry, my phone, I prefer to have so many alarm clocks on my phone because I am a deep sleeper. So I need to have multiple alarm clocks just in case I wake up and I'm in autopilot mode. Because in my autopilot mode, I try to turn off all my devices and I have no memory doing that. There's been a few occasions where I had friends who've witnessed me do stuff when I'm in autopilot mode. One of them was what I discussed in the past. Was there was a time I slept for 2 days. I haven't slept for 2 days, and then when I knocked out and I woke up because my friend woke me up, she told me I told her off. I was like, go see yourself out. I'm not gonna walk you out. I was like, wow, I'm so rude. I'm not that kind of person, but I was just so sleepy for not sleeping for 2 days straight. So anyways, yeah, that's why I have multiple alarm clocks, and you will hear it in the stream. Preferably, I don't like to turn them off, just in case, you know, just like what happened last week, the one time where I did sleep in a little bit for my stream and I still streamed regardless, and I was like late by 20 minutes. It's better to have me wake up 15 minutes late than it is not to show up at all. And then announcing an apology that's like, sorry for sleeping in because I'm just tired. So yeah, that being said, you'll hear the alarm clock. It's gonna be annoying, but it's there. Also, hello Hans, good to see you. Hope you're driving safely to your work. Because he told me he was doing he has a new schedule for work, and it's like good for him to be here because it's like we are kind of like supporting each other. He's watching my stream to make sure everything's good, and then he's also going to he's also going to work at this time too. So it's like kind of like win-win on both of our situations. All right. So feel free to answer this if you want, Hans. Do you have a ritual or routine? If yes, how often do you maintain it? If no, do you plan to have one? Share if applicable. For me, since if you're gonna take time to text, I don't know if you're driving right now, you don't have to. How often do I maintain my ritual routine? Yes, I do have a routine. And then Hans just said morning. Yes, I am. Okay, so I assume that he is driving right now, so answering my question, so he can't answer. It's okay. So I do have a graph from yesterday, from last week's lesson, our grammar lessons for adverbs of frequency. So my question was, how often do you maintain it? You have the reference here from never, 0%, to almost never, hardly ever, rarely, occasionally, sometimes regularly, frequently, often, usually, very often, nearly always, and always. If you guys have not watched the video for this grammar stream, I think I'm gonna try and add it in like maybe that upper corner panel. I don't know if it's gonna pop up a little like eye icon or like, yeah, I don't know, but it's hopefully it pops up if I edit it after the video today or in another few days or so. But it is in my grammar lesson, my most recent one. And in this adverbs of frequency, we are gonna stick with our conversational language here. So in the grammar lessons, I emphasize that there are two ways to say things in English. For the adverbs of frequency, because in speech we don't follow the grammar rules, but in our let me rephrase that. So in speech, we follow the grammar rules and we add another rule, which is technically incorrect from a grammarian's perspective. So technically they're both okay in speech, but honestly, yeah, for speech, no one cares. I'm just gonna be frank. You can use both ways, but in grammar, they specifically want it to be just at the front, which is why you see it here. You would say, I usually take a shower in the morning. So in my case, I did take a shower this morning. So my answer for this one is I rarely take a shower in the morning. Typically, I would shower in the evening. And that's because I like to go to bed fresh, like clean after washing off whatever I did the whole day and stuff. That's usually the case. But here, they would say like, oh, I rarely take a shower in the morning. But if I were to move it in the back, I would say I take a shower in the morning, comma, usually. But again, the reason why we put usually at the end is because it's emphasis. That's usually the trend that I notice in everyday speech, is that emphasizing is what we like to do in our conversations. So we change the position of where our adverbs would take place. I cycle to work. I don't, so I never cycle to work. You don't say I cycle to work never. That just doesn't feel right in terms of conversation speech. I've never heard anyone say that. That's why there are some cases where these adverbs of frequency, some words can stay in the back, but most of them stay in the front, as you can see here as an example. I eat dinner after 10 at night. I would say I sometimes eat dinner after 10 at night. I try not to, but I typically have dinner. So notice I changed my word. Instead of usually, I would say typically. I would say typically is right around in the 50% range, so there's a higher chance for it, maybe 60%. So I typically eat dinner at 7 p.m. That would be more of my usual schedule. What else? We're gonna go back to the last stage here. So if no, do you plan to have one share if applicable? So I do also have plans to share some because I only have my morning routine established, but my afternoon is lacking and my evening is so-so. Hello Umer Ali Ansari, good to see you, welcome. Nice to see you're here. Okay, so we're moving on to the next question. What is your morning routine? So my morning routine is somewhat set. I just started it this year. I wrote about it last year, I think towards the end of December. When I was on my break, I was visualizing what changes I wanted to implement for January. And one of them was my morning routine. My morning routine includes trying to wake up at 4 in the morning. Today I woke up at 12 a.m. because I fell asleep around 5:30 p.m. last night. I fell asleep in the living room because my dad and I were like bonding over music, and he was also singing karaoke at like 2 in the morning. It's hilarious. But yes, typically or usually I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 a.m. in the morning. But to be more accurate, I think I start moving around 4:30 or 4 o'clock. And then after I wake up, I use the bathroom, wash up, wake up, and then I come back here, hydrate myself by drinking some water, and then I start doing my exercise. So I'm doing exercises where I am toning myself and some strength training as well. So that's my aim for this year, is that I do kind of want to lose weight, but at the same time I'm like, it's whatever if I don't. Building muscles would be fantastic actually, so I kind of care about having more upper strength so that I could be able to carry more stuff if needed. So yeah, those are my morning routines. It's just those two, and then I start my stream here at 5 in the morning. So from 5 to 6 I'm streaming on here, and then from between 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. between those two ranges, this hour, I'm typically preparing to pack my bags for school, or I'm cooking breakfast and lunch and dinner for myself, or sometimes I just, like today I haven't packed, so I will be packing from 6 to 7, and I'm also editing a video between 6 to 7 too, so I'm hoping I get that done before I leave. And then by 7 o'clock, 7:10, in that range, I get in my car and I get ready to leave. And then from 7:10 up until 8 a.m. I'm driving to work, so hopefully I arrive at work around 8 a.m. or 8:30, and then I start my work at 8:30 a.m. up until 4:40 p.m. So I have a very, very long day for myself. And then in the afternoon, it usually takes me about an hour and a half, not hour and a half, maybe hour and 15 minutes at most, depending on how bad traffic is. It's typically a 70 or 80 minute drive, and I try to fill that time with doing something that's good for me. I don't know, something to keep me awake first and foremost, because when I'm stuck in traffic I get kind of sleepy, especially after working so long with children. I get really tired because I'm just completely drained at that point. Oh yeah, I forgot to change that from morning routine to afternoon routine. So that's basically my whole day. It's already there. All right, so afternoon routine, I don't have one because I have work. So usually in my afternoon routine, it's just having lunch, having the opportunity to just sit down and chill for like an hour because it's been a day and I need some time for myself just to recuperate and be okay. And then yeah, I just go about my day from work, and then I finish until 4:40 p.m. and then it's a drive, an hour and 15 minutes ish kind of drive to get home. And then we arrive at the last question, which is, or second to last question. What is your evening routine? So I arrive home sometimes, or like for the most of the time, I arrive home at 6 p.m. So I sometimes sit in my car for about an hour, even though I arrived home, or I sometimes, or for the most part, majority of the time, I would, as soon as I get home, I would go straight to the kitchen, drop off my, I drop off my dishes and everything, and so that I can just get it under sink, get it wet, and then just let it sit for a while until I come back in and I start washing it and preparing for my next meals for the day. So in my case, okay, let me see. Yeah, so after I do that, I typically go to my room and then I'm just chilling for at least 1 to 2 hours to decompress. So my decompression time is just, I don't want to socialize. I just want to eat and watch some YouTube or do some stuff. Sometimes at this time, I just don't want to be contacted from my friends because I'm just tired. Please don't talk to me. I'm drained. Let me be. So if I don't answer between 6 through 8, that's usually my decompression time. Of course, there are a few exceptions that I do answer, but for the most part, I don't, just because I just need time for myself to decompress after a long day. Hello, Micho9959. Thanks for joining. Yeah, that's typically how it looks like for my schedule. Next, let's see. What else do I do for my evening? If I feel motivated, so my motivation usually comes in around 8 o'clock p.m. I would probably do something related to my passion. So my passions being like maybe I'm singing something at night, or I'm writing a story, or I'm organizing something for the next day, or doing my Booho journal, which unfortunately I didn't get to do my Booho yesterday. Typically I'd like to have a routine where I could establish my Booho journals will take place over the weekend, just because I like to feel like I have something prepared. If you guys don't know what Booho is, I'm looking for it right now so I can show it to you. That's right here. Alright, so this is my Booho, or basically it's a bullet journal. And what I typically like to do is I like to spend time fixing my ideas on here. So let's look at let me just show you last week, for example. So I like to typically make this kind of stuff. This one is from last week. I put my passion page. I talk about like things that I've covered. These little doors here, they have the date number, but if you open it, it tells you like what were my plans for that day. So I did that, and it's nice for me because I can look at this and think about like, okay, what are the things I've done and what have I covered? And I have little trackers on this page, which is nice because it tells you how consistent I am. And if you guys know from the last streams, I like to establish a routine and maintain my New Year's resolution. So having a tracker is good to show, okay, how much have I been showing up and keeping my word for my end of the deal. So far, I'm like following my rules over the weekdays. My weekends are just decompression weekends, so it's just like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to be lazy. So from what I see here, I don't do my weekends. I rarely do it. Yeah, I'm just trying to be on top of all of this stuff. So for this week, yeah, for this week, I don't know. I mean, I've already established and I already have written my plans for this week, which is great. But for next week, I haven't done anything yet, so it's gonna look like this. It's a blank page, but as you can see from the weeks before, I've already decorated them. So I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff. Mainly because I'm a very creative person, so I like to have creative outlets for myself. So having this stuff is really good for me because it's good for my soul, I would say. It's really good for me. So having the opportunity to have time and make this stuff is nice because I do love having some sort of aesthetics, and I love seeing things where I was able to practice and show my creativity somewhere. So this journal is very important to me in that, like, yeah, in this kind of particular way. So yeah, hopefully if I have time today, I might be able to punch down a few stamps, because that's what I wanted to do and I forgot to do that. But it's okay, I'll figure it out as I go. Playing by ear is totally fine with me too, so I don't aim for perfection, but if I can, that would be nice. But again, it's just like I've embraced, or like I've worked very hard to embrace imperfections, because there's beauty in imperfections too. It makes it unique. All right, the next one, the final question for today's stream. And today's stream is actually going to be kind of short today because I don't see a lot of people are online and want to interact today. And I also have a lot of things to do today as well, so it's okay if I end a little bit early. But which is why it's important, if you guys want to be here and practice with me, come through. Be here on time at like 5 a.m. Even if you see me that I'm streaming and I'm not ready, I typically finish within at 5:05 or 5:10. So 5 to 10 minutes, I'm just checking that my tablet is working. And the reason why I was late this morning was because of my tablet. I was trying to see, like, okay, what is going on with my tablet? What is causing it to be like this? Because I don't know what's causing the audio to play like this when I don't have anything. Like, I don't know. Like, it was preset to a headphones or earphones, which I couldn't find for days. I don't know where it is, and it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be my casing for my Beats headset, but I just can't find it. So we'll see if I'll be able to find it after today's stream. Fingers crossed, because I've been looking for that for about 2 weeks now, so I'm hoping I find it somewhere. Anyways, going back to the topic, do you think having a routine improves your daily life? Why or why not? I think this question is very subjective, which is the reason why I provided it. There's no right answer. It's more of your opinion. Like, do you think having a routine improves your daily life, or it doesn't? For my personal experience, the answer is yes and no. Having a routine makes you feel productive. If you are the kind of person that likes to work hard and wants to feel productive every day, having a routine is very good for you, because you kind of see a schedule to follow. But if you're someone who doesn't like routine and appreciates freedom to do whatever you want to do, maybe having a routine is not good for you. But in a way, there should be some structure. So kind of overthinking it a little bit, that means you still need a routine in a way, kind of, just to have some sort of structure in your life. So for me, I do like having my morning routines like this on Monday through Friday, and I'm doing my utmost best to maintain it. I've already have been tested the last few days where I've had friends tell me, oh, we're having something, can you come out at night? And I'm like, I have to sleep, I have a stream in the morning. And they're like, why can't you cancel it? And I'm like, this is my New Year's resolution, I don't want to do it. So it's been good. I've been saying no, which is fantastic, so I can be here for this. Because I know for a fact that if I said yes to the event, there's a very high likelihood that I would be back maybe at 1 in the morning, then I would have 3 hours of sleep, and then I would be streaming at this time while having only 3 hours of sleep. So that's not good for me, and I don't want to put myself through that. And I'm very proud of myself for putting that boundary, because I'm just like, guys, I just need sleep. Please let me sleep. So yeah, no hard feelings. It's just, I really want to maintain this schedule and just be here to teach this stuff and engage with students who are on the other side of the world. Okay. So for me personally, since I have undiagnosed ADHD, and the reason why I say undiagnosed is because my sister and I share the same symptoms in terms of our problems with focusing. So we share the same problems. When she's frustrated, she gets easily sidetracked. I do too. When I feel frustrated, I start cleaning my room. And my sister does exactly the same way. Like our way of trying to combat with our frustration is through cleaning, which is kind of funny. But we do have, my sister was diagnosed that she does have ADHD. So when she was confirmed to have that, I realized, okay, through her and because we share the same symptoms, I suppose I do have ADHD too. But to be fair, on paper, I have to call it undiagnosed because I was not officially diagnosed by a professional. It's just through my sister we share the same symptoms. Anyways, so for me, having a routine is important for managing my ADHD, but it's also has been bad for me too, because there are times where I do have a routine and I can't sit down and commit to it. It's easy to plan it. That's something I've learned about myself, is that I love planning things, but the moment I have to take action and follow that rule, that's where it becomes difficult for me. So the execution is always the hardest part. Planning is easy because I love organizing. It's fun to see it on paper. It's fun to organize stuff. I think it's one of my OCDs, I suppose. And I also see it being extended not just in just planning my days, but I have friends where I used to play video games with them. They always made me the person that did inventory. So they would go out into the wild and then bring stuff, drop it off in the box. And then what I do is I go in that box and I organize them in different places. And these were like one of our survival games. And I love doing that. And then I would tell everyone, okay, this is where the food is. This is where the uncooked food is. This is the tools for the garden. Here is the stuff here, blah, blah, blah. So everyone knows that there is a particular way that I'd like to do stuff in terms of organizing. Yeah, so that's the funny thing, is just I like organizing stuff. But at the same time, it's like, it's also hard for me to clean. So sometimes my room can be messy and I'm just like, it's an organized chaos in my room. Like I have a pile here for this stuff that has yet to be organized, but at least it's in a bag, like sitting there just waiting for me to organize it. So in a way, it's like, it's good, but and also bad for me. The other thing that why I think it's not a good thing to have a routine is because sometimes, like I said, I get easily distracted. Two, I'm not in the mood for it, so my mood often gets in the way of getting work done, unfortunately. So if I feel like, oh, I feel lazy, I'm just gonna sit here and watch TV, I'm definitely not gonna get work done. That is definitely one of the frustrating things about myself that I do know. Sometimes I can be very forgiving to myself. I tend to spoil myself a lot because while I was growing up, I was very hard on myself. So I always tell myself things like, oh, it's okay, we'll try again tomorrow. I know you went through a lot, or like you're burnt out because you're exhausted from doing this or that. And I'm very forgiving in that kind of way. So I'm very lenient at times. And there are times where I tell myself, no, it's not okay to be like this because that's lazy. At this point, you're being lazy and you're trying to justify your laziness. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm being lazy. That's the truth. And that's okay. Like, I'm trying to distinguish between my laziness and when it's actually okay to be lazy. So if I'm like, for example, let's say it's been 3 days and I went through 1 week, so from Sunday through Friday of intense work, of working 8 hours every day, and then I'm just like, I arrive at the weekend and it's 3 days, I'm just being lazy in all 3 days. It's hard for me to say that it's bad for me because typically I need a few days to myself to just recharge. So there are some days where I'm like, okay, I have the creative energy, or like, oh, I'm ready to do this, so I'll do it on a day, but then the next day I'm lazy again because I spent my energy on something. And that's something I need to improve on, especially when I'm trying to establish a routine. But so far, coming back to the current story. So coming back, sorry, I went on a lot of tangent, and I tend to do that a lot. At the end of the day, I am making progress, and I see it because it's all in this book. And I will always emphasize this, even for language learning. You must have some sort of tracker. You have to. And the reason why is because if you don't have a tracker, how can you let yourself take responsibility and see any progress? So having a tracker is actually good for me because it's a liability. especially since I do give myself like check marks or X's. I show like stamps to show my collection of like, oh, did you do your passion project this week? Because another goal of mine was changing my passion time into recharge time, because a lot of the times I realize my recharge comes from sitting, watching TV or YouTube, and then just eating, and that's it. That's my recharge. It's just being by myself doing nothing. And that's a problem because I could definitely use that time to do something more productive. So I'm trying to transition my recharge time to be doing something like passionate, like doing anything that's my passion project. So that way, even if I'm doing my passion project, I still have the energy to go out and hang out with friends and socialize, because my passion project was also my recharge time. So I would love to find a way to make these two not just like sit down and watch TV, but also, you know, like sing, and then writing stories and learning languages. These would all count as a recharge time. So when I go somewhere, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I can do this. Yeah, I just got a message from the Sesh bot telling me our next stream is tomorrow. Anyways, yeah, so that's my answer. Just to summarize, because I went off tangent a lot. Routine, yes. Having a routine, yes, does improve my daily life to a certain degree, but it shouldn't be in the case that it's overwhelming. You know, you gotta let yourself have some days to yourself. And then the reason I said it's not good to have a routine is because, touching up on that answer, was if you have it every single day, including your weekends, you're gonna feel burnt out. You're gonna hate your life because you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Why did I make a routine that I have to follow and I don't end up following because I'm exhausted by it, or like your body's just not used to it? So I try to always remind myself, especially when I went to gym in the past, a friend of mine used to tell me, if you're establishing a routine in the gym, it's really hard to maintain and commit to it, mainly because it is exhausting and it's new to your body, it's new to your mind. So of course you're gonna have some sort of resistance because it's a new habit. Also, welcome CL Shah. Good to see you. Yeah, thank you for joining me in today's stream. I am having a brief summary of the last question here, and then I will be ending the stream soon, so thanks for joining at the very least. But the video will be posted after, so you can watch the whole stream afterwards if you wish. But anyways, yeah, I like to remind myself that establishing a new routine is hard, so you gotta be patient with yourself. There will be moments where you will slip up for like the first week or so. Not everyone is perfect. There will be moments where you do slip up and then you're like, okay, I'll try again tomorrow, and that's okay. You gotta give yourself that grace because you deserve that grace. And then once you feel like this is good for you, then you can definitely commit to it more. So an example for mine is that I do have my exercise regimen excuse me, here. So what I noticed is that I did not do my exercise on Wednesday because I woke up late, but at least I showed up to this stream. Yeah, and then I chose not to exercise on the weekend because I was just tired and burnt out. So I'm just like, I'm chilling. So that's okay because this is a new routine for myself, but I'm glad to see that at least 5 of the 7 days I am exercising, I am building my strength, I am doing my best to just get this all done. And then yeah, for today I skipped yesterday because it was a holiday and I was feeling lazy. I'm gonna be honest, I was lazy. I was like, no, I don't feel like it. And then I'm putting an X right there, but today I did work out, so it's good. I did my check mark here. So today I did my routine and that's fantastic. Yeah, that's all I need to see is just this is good, and that's it. All right. So again, just give yourself grace if you want to commit to a new routine. You don't have to, but you're okay. I also just got a message from my student / friend, and she's like, oh, I see you now. And I'm like, hello, if you're here, good to see you. I don't know if you're watching my stream, but I just got your message. I will respond / reply to you after I end my stream, so hang on a second there. All right. So that's the end of today's stream. As you can see, when it's just by myself, I get through the questions very quickly. Typically, when I have more students here, we usually stop around 3 to 4 or 5. Rarely finish all 5 questions. But typically, I like to stay and I like to give time to my students to respond in the chat and reply to all the questions if applicable. So yeah, we've reached the end of today's stream. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment on the video or in the comment sections of this video. And we will... What's the next one here? I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of what to say next. Yeah, so leave your comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions in the comments section once I post a video on Instagram, or you can send them in through my YouTube, which is going to be posted as soon as I end the stream. And then consider joining the Discord server. The Discord link is going to be located in the description box on YouTube, and I will have it posted here in just a moment when I press this next button. Yeah, and it's just right here for you guys, for your reference. So, as a reminder, I do stream Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. PDT. English for Everyone is canceled for today, so if you're just coming in here and you didn't hear the news earlier this morning when I was in my greeting portion, I am canceling today's meeting for grammar because I am needed for a family emergency this evening. So better than just rushing myself to come back here, it's just better to cancel. And don't worry, we're not going anywhere yet for grammar. I am contemplating about bringing back grammar in the morning as well, but we shall see. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. I'm just taking it easy for you guys. And then let's see, I also am planning to change the schedule by February. So we have until, I'm just checking the dates right now, 2 weeks left. So January 22 through the 26th, I'm gonna keep doing my every morning stream. Then January 29 to February 2 will be the last week where I'm gonna keep the Monday through Friday schedule. And the reason why I'm changing my schedule is because I'm going back to dance the following week, which is February 4, starting on Sunday, up until, how do I say? Yeah, up until February, from that henceforth. There you go. So just like from that point on, I will be dancing and coming back to dance because God knows I miss dancing, and it's good for me too because I consider dance as my gym, and I do sweat a lot when I'm dancing, so that's why I'm going back. And because of that choice, I do have to sacrifice some days here. I will finalize the days. I'm still debating whether I want to stream Tuesday through Thursday or Monday through Thursday. We'll see. I'm just weighing the pros and cons right now just because Monday is also a dance night, and I would probably finish at 10 or 11 p.m. So there's a high likelihood that I might not be able to sleep that day, and I do have work on Mondays too, so I might not do Mondays. So I'm just thinking it through right now if I can be home by 9 or if I most likely will stay out till like 11. So that's just what I'm weighing in my head at the moment, hence why I'm changing the schedule. And then my conversation mornings will be limited to 3 times a week. And then English for Everyone will still be on Tuesdays. And then what I will do is I will still try to wake up at 4 in the morning, even though I'm not streaming those days anymore. So let's say I do, or well, I'll probably sleep in. So either I wake up at 4 in the morning and do something in the morning, or I sleep in and then just wake up at 6. So it's just a whole debate in my head, because I do want to maintain some sort of consistency, hence why I want to wake up at 4 a.m., but who knows? We shall see. Building habits is gonna take some time. I'm just being patient for it. But anyways, that is the end for today's stream. I hope you guys enjoyed watching today's video. Come in tomorrow at 5 a.m. PDT. Check that in your time zone. Hopefully I get you guys in the evening in your time zone or afternoon. And then hopefully we can chat by then. All right. So, I wish you guys a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining and at least just checking out to see what today is about. I wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I just said that, sorry. Stay hydrated, drink water, eat something healthy, and then we can just talk again soon. Also, hello, English speaking practice zone. I'm just about to end my stream, and I will post this as a reel on Instagram shortly, so you can watch the whole stream again if you missed it. And then YouTube, it's already there, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just go straight there. Alright, I'm gonna go because I have things to do, so fingers crossed I get a lot of my tasks done this morning. Alright guys, see you tomorrow for our next stream. No grammar today, so I won't see you this evening, so yeah, take care. Bye guys.